Wanted to get something on the air that stuck. We just wanted to have a hit show that we were proud of.
To try to say, what are we trying to say this week? What is it you want this show to be about?
Bill was talking to his son, Theo. Theo was saying, you know, I just want to be regular people. You and Mom, you're professionals, you're a doctor, she's a lawyer. I'm not that, Dad. I'm just a regular person, and you and Mom just have to love me for what I am. I'm just a regular person. That sounded very much like what half-hour comedies were in those days. I mean, the children always knew more than the parents.
I don't have to do this and that. And at the end, Bill says, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Well, the afternoon audience, which was basically kids, applauded when, at the end of Theo's speech, why can't you just love me for me? The evening audience burst into applause when Bill says that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
They stood up, they applauded, they whooped, they went, woo, because they hadn't heard that before. You know, they hadn't heard the parents taking the household back and the parents saying, you know what, I'm right and you're wrong.
One of my daughters was opening all the box of some such because she wanted to find the little present in them. And so all these cereal boxes would be wasted. Well, we do a whole scene about that. It was a thrill, not because we were number one, but because American audiences were accepting a black family that wasn't like they'd seen, you know, that wasn't from the projects or were smart, were educated, and there was no question, black and white, they were people.
The other characters, when they turn off the cameras, yeah, there you go. I am the only one that's real. You see? Well, to me, the seedless watermelon is really a fascinating, and I mean, what are they planting to grow the seedless watermelon? That's what I want to know. The water? I mean, what is left? But scientists, you know, have to work to do this. I mean, it takes genetic engineering. It's not easy to develop. It took them how many years to develop seedless watermelon? Other scientists spend their lives working on AIDS, cancer, heart disease. These guys going, no, melon. I'm going to focus on melon. Sure, thousands are dying needlessly, but that's got to stop.
About 10 years ago, I had an idea for a movie. I'd seen a lot of horror movies, which I love very much, with blonde girls getting themselves killed in dark alleys, and I just germinated this idea about how much I'd like to see a blonde girl go into a dark alley, get attacked by a big monster, and then kill it. And that was sort of the genesis for the idea of the movie, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So I started to think about it, and I came up with the notion of playing all sorts of horror movies in high school and making them really metaphors for just how frightening and horrible high school is.
Well, I think like every teenager, Buffy's torn. There's a point in your life when you're not a child anymore, but you're not an adult. And there are decisions to be made that people don't want to help you with, and it's a very, very difficult time. And there's Buffy just trying to deal with the problems of adolescence, of dating, of parenting, of, you know, learning when to cross the line, when not to. At the same time, she has this adult job and adult responsibility, and the two worlds collide. The show is done with love, and that's the amazing thing, and it's not just Joss, it's everybody. It's every grip and electrician, and everybody loves the show. It's a very brutal show to make. The hours are horrible, the conditions are never wonderful. We work a lot of nights, a lot of smoke, a lot of fire. The show couldn't be done if everybody didn't love doing it and was proud of the work that they did.
Next week on South Park, Mr. Garrison gets a nose job.
All the blood, mucus, just the sound of bone and sinew coming apart.
And the boys fall in love with the substitute teacher.
Don't you understand? She's a lesbian.
Hey, man, if she only likes other lesbians, then all we gotta do is become lesbians, too.
Call the National Guard!
Meanwhile, South Park is being torn apart by Barbara Streisand.
I know! She's back!
I'm gonna tell you now.
Another South Park Double, 8 o'clock next Monday.